Right.
So next game. Yeah, Sons of Ra. And would you like to tell us something about the game? Introduce
Yeah,
the
I
game here in the
guess.
beginning.
Game is called Sons of Ra, as you can see on the screen. It's a ancient Egyptian themed uh, tower defense player versus player game. So, most tower defenses, you just kind of build towers, wait for units to come over, and kind of like just hope that your defenses worked. But in our game, since player versus player, you build the towers and you also build the units to attack the other enemy. So it's constantly this back and forth of, should I build more defenses, more offenses? So we wanted to strike that balance of strategy with, keeping players engaged through a tower defense round instead of just starting the round and just kind of waiting. It's always something happening and something like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And there's like different routes they can take, and there's like more. So yeah, let's start the game.
Yeah, you can start. We can do. You can just try out some skirmishes, and later on we can like maybe do some matches between us and stuff.
All right. So there are two gods that you can choose right now. Are they like coming more gods at some
We
point?
have more gods. If you press back, we have actually 4 gods in this demo. Those are the 2 gods. You're gonna be playing as Ra, and you're gonna be playing against Isis. But we have four gods, and currently our 5th god is going testing,
Sure.
and it should be implemented hopefully very soon.
All right. So you can go and describe what is happening.
Yeah, so as you can see, both bases, and then there's the paths. The game controls entirely through this radial menu that we were very inspired by Halo Wars from, because the game was initially going to be meant for console experience mostly. And so, how do you make an RTS, a strategy game, work on a console? We went through a couple different ways to control the game, but ended up at this new radial system, which people seem to really like. So we're pretty excited about it. As you can see, we have all the towers, the units fighting against each other. And then slowly, as you go through the match, you also build favor, which you can spend on your big, powerful abilities as Ra, call down a sunbeam, make your units stronger and stuff like that. Oh, here goes Isis using immunity.
Yep. Yeah, we have seen the computer do that a lot all the time. So how is the game out, by the way? Where are you in the process?
No, it's not out. We're actually like very close to release. We haven't set a date yet, but we're hoping to release it within the next month or two. So right now we're just making sure all our features that we want to have by launch already, trying to squash any bugs. We're holding little like betas with our Discord community because we just implemented online like 2 months ago or something like that at this point. So that's been a lot of fun for the other programmer Jeff, who's like in charge of the networking stuff. He's been stressing a lot over the online capabilities because online is not easy. It's we were all dreading it when we thought about it, and then he took charge in it, and now we actually do have online. So pretty happy about that.
All right.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, yeah, here we go. That was actually a quick one. It was. He only had like one hit, and then all of a sudden the whole. Antti, you should put the difficulty up a little bit for the next game. All right. So what have you been really happy about so far in this game?
I guess mostly just the design process. You know, like I said, we started as a strategy game meant for consoles, and that gave us a lot of roadblocks. How do we figure these out? How do we teach these things to players? I'm gonna create a lobby, and then you can. Yeah, I created a lobby. You should be able to search for it. Actually, it might be on an old version of the game, sadly. So I don't know if this will work.
Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I think you're on an old version. I think we just updated the game actually, so we might not be on corresponding versions. Yeah, no, I guess just I'm really happy about how the game has progressed from when we first came up with the idea. It was, you know, it's changed so much, and it's just always changed for the better. People keep telling us all these things that they liked. Oh, do we only have 2 gods in this version? Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I thought we pushed an update earlier this week to unlock everything for this. But no, we do have 4 full gods. We have Ra, Isis, as you can see here. Our 3rd god was Anubis. Can't leave Anubis out, obviously. One of our most popular characters. Then we added Set. We wanted a little bit more like chaos, like fun, gimmicky kind of character. So we have Set, who has his main ability is a betrayal, where you can turn some of the enemy's units to your side. And if you're unlucky, it turns some of your units to their side. So, you know, always playing with that. Like, we want to like make sure that when you use this ability, you're like ready for anything that can happen, anything that can go wrong or can go right. You're ready to like act on it. And then our newest god, Sekhmet, the lioness goddess, goddess of war, daughter of Ra. So she's coming up. She's definitely like tuned to a much more aggressive style, similar to I guess her father Ra, and we're really excited about how she's coming out. All the effects and everything our artist has been doing, the animations that our other programmer did. We're pretty excited about finally letting people play with it soon.
Yeah, these are really good characters. And do you can you tell me a little bit about these 2 we're playing with today? What do they have? What abilities do they have?
Yeah. So on the left you have Isis. She tends to be more of a turtle, like slow kind of defensive play style. She has healing abilities, immunity abilities. She can lock enemy towers. And then she has Earthquake, which is probably our least favorite blessing. We're still trying to figure out a better way to replace that one with a more thematic one. But she tends to have more of a defensive playstyle. She kind of likes turtling up, making sure that when she pushes out, she's going to push out in strength by providing protection to her units like that. Oh, you're going to lose. Uh-oh. And on the right side, we have Ra, titular god of the game. Used to be called Montu, actually. We didn't want to include Ra because, I don't know, it felt like too easy. So we had like an alternate persona, which is like also like correct in the mythos. Montu, the god of, it's essentially the god of war in Egypt. But nobody really knew who he was. We were like, oh, that's Ra. We're like, no, it's Montu. But you know what? And then we just kind of like changed it to Ra instead, switched it up a bit, made it Ra, more some themed abilities and everything. He's definitely more aggressive. He wants to be pushing out. He wants to be burning your towers, stealing damage, and just always creating units to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, I really noticed that those like rays of sunbeams that come there are really helpful when you're playing with that guy.
Yeah. No, what I like is that also like it's definitely like geared towards being an aggressive style, and Ice is more of a defensive style. But if you plan out your strategy from the beginning, more like correct, more, with like a certain way, you can actually have them behave slightly the other way. So you can use Ra a little bit more. His abilities could be a little bit more defensive to let you build up for that big push, for that big army, that big strength. And Isis lets you, with her immunity, it lets you be aggressive early on if you can get to it. So that like letting people choose how they play the gods as well is, you know, also something that we've thought about when designing these things.
Yeah, and obviously these are all, you know, like based on real characters. Are you sort of into all the Egyptian mythology, or we're just wondering, you know, because everything seems quite correct? So
yeah, no, we definitely put in a lot of research when it comes to this. So we were researching Set. Like, for example, when we were like first designing Set, we were like, okay, what kind of animal was he? And then we start reading up, and then he's like 5 different animals together, but like different places have different animals. So we're like doing this, like, which one should we go with and stuff like that. We're all pretty. The other team member Jeff, he's definitely more into like the Egyptian mythology. But just from working on this game, I've learned so much more than I used to know before. So there's definitely like some research that goes into it. We try to be as accurate as possible. Same with the architecture for the buildings and stuff like that. We try to keep it where people are like, oh yeah, that's kind of real, you know, aside from the whole giant sunbeam falling from the sky.
yeah, you can really see it. Your name is also, you know, Pharaoh Hound. So yeah.
Yeah, we've been wondering. It's not an easy name to type out. People, even I still like write Pharaoh wrong all the time.
Yeah. All right. So how many different maps do you have you can play on?
We have 3 maps, and we're working on possibly adding a 4th, but we're definitely adding variations of these maps. So they might have like the same background, but the lanes themselves, the paths, will be different. So adding a little bit of variety, especially in this map, you can see in the middle, there's like a mine. You can extend your territory, and if you capture that mine, it becomes yours. So you can start getting extra gold as long as you have control over it. So it's just one of those. It's this one of the things we're playing with to add spice and variety to the game to make everything feel different. It's something we're looking more towards as well.
Yeah, that really adds, you know, a level of, you know, something to struggle to, you know, to get.
Yeah.
So you will get like this really huge advantage.
Yeah, because we noticed a lot of people didn't like building towers. They thought they were like not worth it. But if once we added that thing in the middle that forces you to build towers to it, you know, people start thinking more about, oh, I'm gonna build these towers. Where am I gonna place them? I have to protect them and stuff like that. So we think that it added so much.
So are there maximum of this like 3 roads, or do we have more of them coming as well, you know, to add more difficulties more lanes to watch out for?
Definitely, I think 3 is our max for now. People, it already kind of gets kind of crazy with 3 sometimes. People lose track. It's very easy to get overwhelmed with 3. So I think we're leaving it at 3 for now. We do have 3 or 2 lanes, but yeah, 3 is probably our sweet spot. I think it's very easy to understand, you know, like up, middle, right. If you add 4, it's like up up middle, you start like getting like confusing. So
Yeah, you send lots of troops to the wrong one, and
yeah.
so what have you learned during this process? Anything new?
That I mean, this is I think everyone like feels this no matter if you're doing game dev or not. But once you like stare at something enough, you start to ignore its faults. Like we knew there were like issues that we had to like solve, issues that we had to like figure out. But we're like, oh, it's just always been like that. Oh, it's just why change it now? It's been like that for years. But once we like actually make these changes, it's just a world of difference. It's just we're like, why didn't we do this earlier? And everybody's like, yeah, we really should have done this earlier. But yeah, I guess that's probably like our biggest thing. Just always try to keep an open mind when you're designing things and stuff like that. It's really something that you can easily just forget.
Yeah, and start focusing on the unimportant stuff too much.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, here we go. There's like, whoa.
But yeah, right now we're working on making the game even prettier. We want to add more, more like pizzazz to it. We want to make it more like, whoa, look at that kind of stuff. So we're working on effects, user interface, also always fixing bugs and stuff. Bugs that we thought we squashed like 3 months ago, they're like, hey, it's back again. We're like, what? So we had to fix it. We have to figure out why and stuff like that. It's I want to say it's fun, but it's not really fun doing that.
Yeah, here we go. Week 3.
There you go.
Is Antti playing on easy again, or? So this is made for like console playing, or like focused on console playing?
I
Or
guess.
is
Yeah, I guess more than like console playing, we wanted to be able for people to play it on controllers. So the control scheme was mostly designed like from the ground up for controllers, and we just implemented like mouse keyboard control a couple months ago, and I think people really have taken to it. Especially maybe like the people we play with from our Discord server already know how to play, so we're not getting like the best feedback, but the best like new player feedback. But it's definitely something that we designed for not just keyboard and mouse, but controller as well. So just that helps with accessibility as well and stuff like that. It's something we've been paying attention towards as well.
All right. We have had some trouble with the internet connection here, so I'm not sure if Antti fell out now again.
Oh, dang.
But yeah, do you want to tell me a little bit more about stuff behind the game? What you have been?
Yeah, I guess just same old, just always, we've delayed the game like 2 or 3 times at this point, just because we can definitely make it better. But I think with this last push, it's definitely gonna be our, we're gonna give it our all. We're gonna make sure everything is there, release it into the wild, and people let people actually start playing everything about it. Not just like one weekend out of like every like 1 or 2 months we open a beta or something like that. We want to let people actually play it, join the community, start building all these, start building the community and letting people just enjoy the game, I guess. And it's definitely going to be a crazy last month of development, but I think we're all kind of looking forward to this launching and just seeing how it does and everything, and just letting people play.
All right, perfect. All right, looks great.
Thanks. Yeah, I think what really let us do a game like this was the whole, we stuck to the board game aesthetic. Initially, we did it because, this was initially a class project. And our artist was like, the only way we can do this if we don't give the units animations. We don't have time to give the units animations. So, we come up with the idea, what if we just make it a board game? So then we're like, yeah. And then we made the little units like hop and bounce and everything. And we're like, oh, this actually kind of works. And, placing towers and everything, this actually like works very well. So that's let us implement just a lot more things that I think we could have in the time that we had. And people also really seem to like the whole board game aesthetic thing. So pretty happy that the people actually like the board game aesthetic.
Yeah, I think it really sets the game sort of apart from other kind of, in the same genre or something like that. Otherwise, it would be, like a Red Alert or something, but with the with the Egyptian gods instead. So yeah, so yeah, I think it really makes it a lot like different then. I wonder what's going on here. All right, and we are back.
Awesome.
Yeah, it seems like people have turned on their Netflix movie marathons for the weekend. So yeah. Oh,
he won again. Nice.
so how close are you to the finished product? Is it?
We're like a month. At this point, we're like a month and a half away. Hopefully, we're releasing by the end of this quarter. But these things could go crazy from one day to another. Everything just like goes crazy. But hopefully, we're definitely like in the last push of it, adding the final features, stuff that we haven't even revealed yet. And stuff like that. So we're excited to make this last big push and just let people be like, whoa, I didn't know this was coming and stuff like that. So we're excited for this last 1 month of work that we have, month and a half of work that we have ahead of us.
Yeah. All right. How was the feedback, by the way? Because as I said before, the Steam Game Festival, it ended on Tuesday, I think.
Yeah. No, it was great. We had a lot of people joining the game. We did the streams and everything on Steam. People jumped into Discord and we're talking about feedback, whether they liked the game or what parts they didn't like, and it's always something we take into account. Maybe someone's like, oh, maybe this is kind of weird, and we're like, actually, it is kind of weird. So we look into like maybe changing it or stuff like that. So feedback has been great. I love our Discord community. They've all been fantastic. All of them that like to jump into in the middle of a weekend, jump into a game with us and everything. I'm always thankful that we have this community that we've managed to build around us.
All right. Yeah, that's really good to hear. So here we have the intro again.
Yeah, this is our idol video. We realized when we went to conventions that if there was like we were like on a downtime or something, people were just gonna be staring at the main menu. So we're like, oh, let's just add a little idle video like they used to in like old Nintendo 64 games and stuff like that. So we have this little video that just shows up.
anything you want to add here at the end of your turn?
Nothing. Just thanks for having us. Always happy to have people play the game and give us positive feedback. I love positive feedback. uh, Always happy to have people look at the game and show it off. Always happy to talk about it to other people.
Yeah, really good with this like short notice that we gave you, that you joined and commented on the game so far.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been really super. A lot of people contacting and wanting to do this kind of thing, so we're really happy about that.
Yeah, as a kid, I grew up playing the Warcraft and StarCraft. That was all I played as a kid. Red Alert. I taught my dad how to play Red Alert too. Still his only game that he's ever played in his life, but he played like 1,000, 2,000 hours of that game. Whoa. And just making my first game be like a strategy game kind of feels like it was meant to be kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was big on those games as well. It was like adventure games and those, and I started already with June. Do you remember the game?
Yeah.
And I've been a really big fan of the genre, so this is sort of nostalgic in the same way.
Yeah, definitely also took inspiration from all the little mods, the maps that people used to make for Warcraft and StarCraft. Those were always my favorite, like Dota when it first came out, Nexus Force and all these things took big inspiration from that. And just being like, oh man, I used to play all these games. Now I'm here. Now I'm here on a stream talking about my game. It's kind of like I still can't wrap my head around it. It's wild.
All right. Oh, but yeah, thank you so very much for being here, and I think we can move on to the next game here. And
awesome.
Yeah, thank you so very much for showing up and talking about the game. And let's keep in touch and see what happens.